As with any beer commercial, there's usually something to be said about its depictions of masculinity and the expectations of those who drink beer. Bud Light, a classic beer, perhaps even the go-to, is no exception to the controversial implications of its narrative. Their recent campaign, Your Can, deviates only slightly from the stereotypical masculine narrative, the one where all men, successful middle-upper class men, drink beer, and if you want to be a man, you must therefore drink beer. Less enforced, however, is the connotation with men drinking beer to getting attractive women, though there are still soft implications that this narrative, too, is still true. Let us begin. Repeating throughout the entirety of the commercial are, of course, cans of beer, both visually and verbally. The cans of beer are brought up repeatedly, emphasizing the fact that whatever message this commercial is trying to give its audience, it is by the power of beer. Beer, 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 beer. In coordination with the cans, and seen just as repeatedly, are masculine hands. Again and again, we see the hands either holding the beer or in the background of the can, participating in various settings. Further, it's not just the hands that we see constantly throughout the short clip, but also a focus on men themselves, whether they be talking to the camera or just the center of visual focus in whatever scene is playing out. The words guy, fella, man, and father emphasize the quantity of maleness present. On the flip side of this, women are not completely absent from the commercial, but their presence is scarce. Their roles are either in the background, or the few times they are the focus, are given a very implicit sexual light. This will be discussed further. So, the perpetuating occurrence of the beer with the men suggests the narrative that beer and man are equal. Beer goes with man. The type of man and the situations they are in with the beer is also important. They are seen oftentimes within groups, so drinking beer gives you friends, in work-related settings, men with jobs drink beer, and also in relaxed leisure settings. Men who like to chill and have fun drink beer. Thus, as a binary would assume, the opposite is just as well. If you don't drink beer, you probably don't have friends, a job, or do anything fun. Now let's get back to what's generally missing from this commercial. Women. We see only in 3 scenes where the woman is the focus of the shot. Never does she speak, adding to the background nature of a woman's involvement with beer. So they drink it, but it doesn't suggest the same elements as what it means to be a man and drink beer. In the first scene where a woman takes focus, she's a cashier. She provides men with their beer and is not an active taker of it herself. The second is when 2 women are giving various flirtatious facial expressions to the camera and are in their bathing suits, though covered with clothing. It's no bouncing breast depiction of a woman as an object, but its subtlety still suggests the same. The final focus on a woman is just of her hand holding a can of beer. Her nails are done up, contributing to the stereotypical narrative of femininity, and this might be a stretch, but also is, again, a subtle wave to the audience that pretty girls are associated with the consumption of beer. So what are the social implications of these narratives? This commercial, in a way, is peer pressuring its male audience to believe that beer is vital to life. Look at us with our friends, our jobs, enjoying ourselves. Want that? Drink a beer. The fact that beer is always present suggests the same idea. Beer should never be absent from your life. Parties, just chilling, picnics, anywhere. A beer will guarantee a good time. The negative of this is, of course, a man's reliance on beer to feel both comfortable in social settings as well as with his masculinity. Alcohol abuse may become seen as a more normal practice, having obvious health and mental deficits. The role that women play in the commercial promotes 1, that beer is a man's drink, and 2, if there is beer, there will probably be pretty girls there too. This is problematic in that it creates an aura of sexuality with alcohol consumption. Constant correlation of sexual experiences / pretty women and alcohol is dangerous because this also suggests that sexual encounters will be expected when alcohol is present. We need not to get into the issues of rape or other forms of forceful interaction. This commercial is subtler than most and does at least throw women into the background so as not to completely hyper-masculinize the consumption of beer, but regardless, it is still contributing to the same narratives we've recognized over and over.